to S.A.M.E TV podcast. This is our very first interview. This is our very first show. I'm so excited to be here. I am Anysa Campbell, first and foremost. This is Shyann and Prince from WCCR Club. This is our president. This is our VP, our vice president. And well, hey guys, welcome. It's so good to have you.
Thank you for having us.
So firstly, tell us what is your club? And just tell us about your club.
Okay.
WCCR. We're a student-led college student-led club for CCNY. The club's been around for years, decades at this point. We basically do events for the school all the time. We also do radio shows down in the NEC building on the first floor on the right side of the building. And we also we're also heavy into the DJ scene. Yeah, that's kind of, and we also have a studio within the club where we
nice.
Make music, and we're essentially a community targeted for music lovers, people who want to just get involved with music. We're basically targeting those people, if you're interested in that.
So how did you yourself get into this club?
So back in fall 2023, I was just chilling. I was just walking around the school. I didn't really join any clubs. I was kind of just in between, during my free time, just mainly just chilling in between my classes, not really doing anything. And then I just decided, let me see what's going on, what the clubs are at the school. And then I got a flyer about WCCR, on one of the bulletin boards, went down to the station. And yeah, that's how I joined. They talked about how we do DJ classes, if you're interested. That was also around the same time that I started getting into DJing. And yeah, I basically learned how to DJ there, plus self-teaching myself. And yeah, we just literally DJ'd for club hours every Thursday, 12 to 2. And we also ended up doing events and stuff like that throughout. We would do paint and eat events where you just paint while listening to music and eat some food.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we also a lot of the big events like Lavender Week for CCNY. Yeah.
I wish they saved me cotton candy. I'm not gonna lie, that line was treacherous last year.
What? Oh, the cotton candy line.
Yeah. When we did Lavender Week, it was it was my first time being within that said space. It was they felt like a real carnival. It was just a lot, but it was a lot. I wasn't really expecting that many students to pop out to that. Yeah. So I was just oh wow. So, but we had a great time, honestly. Good. So, but like I said, they owed me some cotton candy.
Right.
Trying to get some.
So
that line was whooping around, doing a whole snake bit and everything. It was insane. But I get it. People be hungry.
Right. But save some for the rest of us,
Yeah. So.
But how did you get into the club?
So. When I first came onto campus, at the time they were slowly coming back into in person. So everything was still online, but weirdly enough, the classes were still open. So I could just literally sit in a empty classroom and just be on Zoom, feel like I'm in class, even though I'm not. So, so I was just wandering around, and then I saw, WCCR radio. I was radio station. That's cool. Obviously, it wasn't anything happening over there. So I was just okay, I'll probably figure this out later. So then one day, I think it was they were, I think, a resource fair, weirdly enough. Right? Literally one just happened today. And I ran into Sean, and I ran into the previous president of the club. And I wondered myself, how can I be able to get in? Could I be able to inquire about being a member? At first, like I think they were just trying to break down everything. But like I ran into Shyann again, I think last semester. And he said, okay, just show me what you got. And I DJ'd a little bit on my own controller that I brought. And it was like, okay, that's cool. But I want you to do this. And I was just like, okay, I'm up for the challenge. It's like, give it some time, practice as much as possible. You can use your own controller, but at the same time, when we're here, you're going to be using a little Serato thing. At first, I was a klutz. I was clumsy. I will admit, I felt like a rookie all over again. But with the repeated actions, like I'm still growing to this day. I'm not saying I'm expert at anything, but at the same time, I was given the opportunity to be able to do that, and here we are now. So,
oh, that's awesome. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I know that you mentioned that you guys do like events. Is it events like exclusive to?
Yeah, honestly, we can like. It doesn't even have to be just explicitly like just to people on campus. It can just also be people outside to people outside of campus. We're looking into that. We're thinking like this semester we might do like a open mic thing or like a party for Halloween. Something like that.
Awesome.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Right.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
But I remember when I met Prince. That was like, I think the fall semester actually no spring semester. Yeah. That was like the semester where like I became the president, kind of unwittingly, because the club's like numbers around that point kind of dwindled a little bit. People started graduating. We had a lot of like older members, not really like many young blood. Like me I was like young blood. There was another guy who was also a DJ with me, but he ended up leaving the club at that point. So like it was kind of just me, and I had to like figure out how am I going to rebuild this. And like it literally took me to like March. I ended up like setting up like an info session. It was like somewhere in the NAC building, but like I literally just got up some flyers, put them everywhere, just set up like a little presentation, and just introduced what the club was about. And Prince was there, I remember seeing him at like a previous event, so like I remembered him. But he was like one of the main ones that actually stayed and stuck with the club. Yeah.
I know nothing better to do. I ain't gonna count. I was like, it's either I just come here, school, home, or like actually like apply myself somewhere. So I was just like, okay, I was already like I said, like actively DJing. I was just like, but I had like a little mini Newmark, still do to this day. And I was just like, okay, well, let me see if I can be able to upgrade it, do better with myself in terms of that. So
you want to know how prepared this dude was? Like he literally like on the info session, like afterwards, he was like talking about like, the DJ stuff. He's like, oh, I already got my DJ controller on me. I was like, oh, word? Okay, show me what you got. Like he already had it on him. Literally. He already had it on him. That's crazy.
I had to, man.
You can say it was meant to be.
Yeah, facts.
Well, how do you even get into DJing in the first place for both of you? Like, is there like a specific point you remember? Is there like...
You see, you gotta, how would you say, you gotta like maybe formulate a couple of hand signs, you know what I'm saying? Maybe do some ninjutsu and then like get out like, it was some maybe whatever controller you get, right. maybe like a little curse mark or something like that. No.
I was taking notes.
But don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. But I would say just, doing it for a love of music. Doing it for not necessarily chasing a moment, but creating one and holding space for those who want to enjoy said moment that you are being you're able to project.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I got into it off of a friend. She was willing to just teach me on the fly. At the time, I was hosting like events in Brooklyn and whatnot. And he was like, "Oh, you want to see how this works?" I was like, "Okay, cool." And I was like, "Okay, switch," and then switch back and forth. And I was just like, "Oh, these are songs I like." It ain't sound really clear, but it sounded pretty hyped up. Everybody was jamming out to it. It's like, shout out to Brain. I was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So then I was just like, okay, how do I now push forward, not just using other people's stuff, but having something of my own? A friend of mine literally just passed me the Newmark controller, passed it to me. I bought the case. He gave me the controller so that way I can hold on to it for safekeeping. And yeah, it was just like that since, you know, being able to do that and having a loving for it, not necessarily like chasing a success, like it's the goal, but not necessarily something where you would want, like, you don't want that to just cloud your judgment of just enjoying yourself. You know, it's something where it's, you know, it's a mind game at the same time, but it's like, you know, you just roll with it and have it, like I said, just have fun and enjoy yourself. That's where
the real music comes from, anyways.
Point blank.
Like the best songs, like the ones I feel that like just really get me in my emotions are the ones that like have obviously like the emotions like written into it.
Right.
So yeah, I really resonate with that.
Right, exactly.
How did you get into DJ?
Honestly, at first I wasn't even like really like into the whole, like for like the past 5 years or so, like, well, probably later than that, like 7 or 8 at this point. I was a music producer, you know. Well, I still am a music producer. You know, I make music. Before that, I was super into art. You know, I'm just a huge creative guy. Like I literally just bounce from stuff. But like I really like, you know, sticking with like the music stuff. Like, you know, I was a music producer for a good bit. I didn't even think that I was going to become a DJ. And in actuality, like my dad is a DJ. You know,
oh wow.
He's a pretty big DJ in South Carolina. I'm from South Carolina. You know, I moved up to New York a while back. But like, you know, I've basically been around like all that, like all the equipment. You know, I've seen, you know, how he, you know, did it. But like me personally, like I wasn't really into music at that time, so like I didn't even like think about it like that until like fall 2023. It was just kind of like a spur of the moment type of thing. Like, why not? like yeah. So like I literally just I started learning how to DJ, of course, through like the club, like, you know, self-teaching myself and also just, you know, using the equipment that they had. And then after that point, I just started buying myself equipment, you know, for that. Yeah. And like I kind of like put it in my head, like where like, cause I'm a music producer first and foremost. Like I kind of feel like, you know, the DJ stuff, like it's definitely something that I wouldn't mind doing for like the long run, but I really want to like use it as like a outlet to push out my music. You know, like I make a lot of like remixes, like Jersey Club, Nola Bounce, stuff like that. Okay. You know, I even, you know, put it in a couple of my sets, you know, some of my tracks. But yeah, that's kind of like the path, like the future that I see with it.
Okay, that's awesome. So one question that I have is, you guys keep saying controllers. Like, can you explain that a little bit? I don't really know. Like,
so basically, controllers. It's a certain section of DJ equipment. DJ controllers are just usually like very small, like decks, or like, you know, you know, the two
like what you kind of see in the movies.
Yeah. But it's, you know, it's not like overly like cumbrous, like the stuff that you saw, like that stuff, those are turntables. And then there's like CDJs and stuff like that, like overly expensive. DJ controllers are like a lot more like affordable, beginner friendly. there's certain higher end ones. Like we got like a higher end one called the DDJ 1000 SRT, which allows us to do a lot of the stuff that CDJs do, but it's a lot more portable. And we don't really we actually have like a huge like giant like metal case where we just have like 2 CDJs and a mixer and it. I have experience I in using those. I use those all the time. I'm not sure if I taught Prince on those. I mainly taught Prince on the controllers, like the controller that we got. But yeah, controllers are just much smaller. Like it usually has way less features compared to the CDJs, but yeah, it's just a much more accessible and easier way to DJ.
Yeah, think of a controller like an electronical turntable. Yeah, like at first it started out with the vinyls, like literally crates, putting it on the table itself, having to do the Grandmaster Flash technique of using the breakdown of a song, whirling it around 1, 2, 3, keeping it within, or the scratch method where it's like you would scratch the record. That's where it originated from. And then as technology progressed, they created little Serato created electronical controllers that way it could be easier to travel with, easier to connect to like a laptop or plug in your USB with the CDJs. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I feel like they're all the same, just in a different format, depending on where your process or where your journey as a DJ yourself has started. You know what I'm saying? Because people say, oh, I've mixed on vinyl, I mixed on CDJs, I mixed with the controller, or I've done it all at once at the same time. But it is crazy, but that's just how it is, man. But yeah. It's a lot to dissect. I ain't gonna cap to you. So
no, but I love this whole conversation.
Of course.
Well, thank you guys for joining us.
Well, thank you for having us.
Of course. This is really insightful, and just I appreciate all of it. But with that being said, this was the very first S.A.M.E TV podcast. I'm Anysa Campbell. This is Shyann and Prince from WCCR. And yeah, that's it for us, guys.
Bye. Have a good time.